Today we will be discussing how to write a college resume. Now, what is a resume? A resume is essentially a summary of your experiences that can help you further both your academic and professional careers. This screencast is only meant for writing a college resume, and we will be talking about what you'll need for this document and tips on how to write one. There are various parts of a resume that are typically included. Does anyone know what goes into a resume? You always need to include your contact information at the very top of the resume. Right below that, you need to write down an objective that is at least 1 or 2 sentences. After this, you can include other things such as your educational history, your extracurricular activities, a list of the skills you possess, community service, and professional experiences that you may have, and 2 or 3 references that go on a separate page. We're going to talk about the different information you will need for each of these portions. First, we will talk about the contact information you will need. Each resume requires your full name, your home address, your home number, and an email address. If you prefer to give your cell phone number because it's more convenient, or if you don't have a phone number, that's okay. Some Microsoft Word templates ask for a fax number, which you don't need to include unless you have a fax machine and wouldn't mind providing anyone with that number. Now, with your email address, it's strongly recommended, if not mandatory, that you use a business-related email address and not a personal address. And by personal email addresses, I mean an email address you made with a username that's completely inappropriate for professional use. Now, let's talk about the objective. Does anyone know what an objective is? The objective is meant to tell the person you are sending your resume and application to what you want to achieve, so they have an idea of what your goal is. This can be 1 to 2 sentences, but shouldn't be any longer than that. 1 sentence is generally enough to get your message across. Let's talk about what you should include when you're writing your educational history. Does anyone have any ideas? Well, for starters, your cumulative GPA should be included. You can get this by speaking to either me or the college advisor. You should also include any other institutions you've attended or certain programs you're part of, your SAT/ACT score when you get them and if you took them, any AP or college level classes you've completed and the scores you received on the AP tests, and any awards, honors, or scholarships you've received while in high school. This will give the colleges you're thinking about a good idea of what kind of student you are academically. Now, what should we include in extracurricular activities? Generally, with this, you want to include anything else you've done in high school that isn't related to academic progress. Now, with the magic eraser, we're going to unlock these. So you should include clubs, sports teams, if you're part of ARISTA or National Honor Society, any productions that you've participated in, if you're theater, choir, any kind of band, and if you've had any student government positions. It's important to have at least some of these things because they'll show the colleges and programs you're applying for that you are a well-rounded student who's active in their school's community. Next, we will talk about community services and professional work. Now, not everyone will have professional work written down on the resume because not everyone has obtained a job, and that's okay. Everyone needs at least 10 hours of community service to graduate from the school, so everyone should have some sort of service down to add to their resume. Community service opportunities are announced every morning and will be posted in my office as well. This actually leads into our next topic, skills. Now, what are some skills that we can add onto our resumes? Some skills that can be listed are different languages you speak, any computer application you're proficient in, along with any other technological skill you have on top of that, any abilities you may possess such as working in a group setting, presentation, organization, monetary skills. This would be especially beneficial if you're trying to get into a special program at a college because they will see you are well prepared for what you need to do. Now, here are some tips for writing your resume. The first is to make sure you include all of the activities you've been a part of. This will give you an edge if you're an especially well-rounded student. The second is to make sure you do not add in anything that isn't professional. This includes hobbies such as collecting rocks or being able to watch Netflix for 6 hours at a time. Colleges don't really care about this and should not be included. The third is to be sure to list every skill you believe you have that will help you get where you need to be. Make yourself stand out from the others in the crowd. The fourth is very important. It's to make sure that you proofread for spelling and grammatical errors. This will look highly unprofessional if you leave any mistakes in your resume. Also, keep in mind that your resume does not need to be any longer than a page, as people typically skim through resumes quickly. Finally, don't just list what you do. Make sure you tell us what you got out of everything you've done. Tell us what you did in a particular event or club, what you got out of it, any awards you received doing so. This is important. This is a quick rough draft of a resume I wrote myself when I was in high school. Your resume does not need to look exactly like this, but it's just an example. Remember, resume templates are available in Microsoft Word for a more convenient method of writing rather than crafting it yourself. And remember, you can come to me and the college advisor to read over your resume and give you suggestions on how to improve yourself.